Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the Black Ops Cold War beta. Weekend 2 of the beta begins tomorrow for Xbox and PC fans who did decide to pre-order, and then it's also going to be open for all PS4 fans. Later on this weekend, the beta, of course, will be open to absolutely everybody. It's going to be really interesting to see what the game is going to be like once everybody gets their hands on it. In today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, however. For years here on the channel, I would do this weekly Q&A every Wednesday called Dear Nero, and in recent years I pretty much retired the series, but every now and then I like to do an episode for old time's sake, and since Black Ops Cold War is right around the corner and there is so much going on within the Call of Duty franchise, I figured today would be a great time to do another episode, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. And to quickly cover gameplay here, guys, it's just some matches I got during the alpha and the beta. Gameplay isn't really important to this video, but either way, I hope you guys all enjoy, and now that the introduction is done, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. I've got what I believe to be 20 different quality questions to go over, the first of which is going to be coming in from 2 Apples, who writes, Dear Nero, what is your opinion on getting partnered with Call of Duty? I think some of the content creators who are known for their reputation and honest opinion got way too soft on Call of Duty, which is understandable because it's not like they want to tell their boss off. It's kind of a situation of being safe with money versus giving an honest opinion. So the Call of Duty Partner Program is very interesting, right? It's a system where, for those who don't know, if the players decide to buy something in the in-game shop, they have the option to type in a code for their favorite content creator, and so when they buy that item within the in-game shop in Modern Warfare or in Black Ops Cold War, that content creator is going to get a little bit of that money. Now, the situation boils down to, is this going to influence the opinion of the creators who have those codes? Now, a lot of these content creators that do have codes, I wholeheartedly trust. I've been watching these people for years, and even though they've been flying out to Activision events and recording the game early and doing things like that, they've always been right down the middle when it comes to Call of Duty, right? They talk about the good and the bad and give their honest feedback, but I think it comes down to viewer perception, right? For me personally, I've always try to maintain as far of a distance between me and Activision as possible. I don't go to those events. I don't talk to them whatsoever. In fact, the only interaction I've ever had with Activision is, for some reason, going into Season 3 of Modern Warfare, one of their PR reps emailed me and was like, hey, would you like some free COD points to buy the Battle Pass? I'm like, no, dude. I don't want anything to do with that, right? And so that does kind of confirm that a lot of these other content creators are getting COD points from Activision. Battle Passes are free. They are getting preferential treatment when it comes to being flown out to events early or getting early access to games. That's something that's been known for a very long time. But I think it really comes down to a creator-by-creator basis. Do you actually trust that person? And I think from the viewer's perspective, no matter how critical you try to be of Call of Duty or every new update, every new game, and things like that, there's always going to be that question there for those creators who do actually get that preferential treatment from Activision and those creators that do have those codes that people can use in the shop, because they're going to wonder, do you really like this thing, or are you saying that because you actively make money from this, right? That's why I've always tried to stay as far away from them as I possibly can. I call everything right down the middle. I look at every new game, every new update, every new piece of content, and give you my honest feedback from it, because I just want Call of Duty to be the best game that possibly can be. I've been playing the game since I was in high school. I'm going to be turning 29 here soon. I've been playing COD for a very long time, right? And I want what's best for the game, and part of that as a content creator is I don't want people to look at me and think I have an inherent bias because I'm working with Activision or I have a code in the shop or anything like that. That's why I stay away from that. And for those other content creators, I do trust them. I do trust, some of them, not all of them, obviously, but I do trust a lot of them because I've been watching them for years. I'm friends with some of them, in fact. But from the viewer's perspective, there's always going to be that question there. Like, can you guys imagine a situation where I go, all right, everybody, here is my honest, unbiased opinion of Black Ops Cold War. Be sure to use code NERO in the shop. Like, what? That doesn't really work out that way, right? So that's why I stay away from it. Other content creators don't. And, I mean, it's their channel. They can do whatever they want. But for me personally, I want nothing to do with the partner program. I want nothing to do with Activision. And yeah, it's definitely a very weird situation, and I imagine it's only going to get weirder as we go into Black Ops Cold War, as more and more of these content creators get codes that people can use within the in-game shop. The second question is coming in from Paradox, who writes, Dear Nero, do you agree with the people that say Call of Duty is the same thing every year? Well, Paradox, no, absolutely not. In fact, I would say Call of Duty is too different every single year, which is why we get so upset every single year. Right? You look at Modern Warfare and how they completely changed map design and movement and pretty much everything about the core multiplayer experience. Like, you look at a game like Black Ops 2 versus Modern Warfare 2019 from a gameplay perspective, they're so different, right? It's still the same genre. It's still Call of Duty. It's still a first-person shooter. And it still has perks and kill streaks and weapon loadouts and things like that, but the games play very differently, and every single year they try to revamp everything, and honestly, it gets kind of old after a while, right? We had like 3 straight years of advanced movement, then suddenly we go back to World War II, and the game kind of felt like Call of Duty used to feel like. Then we had Black Ops 4, which felt so different. I enjoyed Black Ops 4. I love Black Ops 4, but it felt so different compared to World War II or Infinite Warfare. And then Modern Warfare 2019 comes out, which feels nothing like the previous games that came out before it. I would say, if anything, they should work to make Call of Duty feel more similar year after year as compared to making it feel so different year after year. I will say that one of my favorite things about the COD franchise historically is the difference in gameplay between Infinity Ward games and Treyarch games. Like, if you look at Modern Warfare 2, for example, and then Black Ops 1, they're both Call of Duty, but they're very different in terms of how the game is played and how things are set up, right? And then you look at Modern Warfare 2019 versus Black Ops Cold War. While there are some similarities, they're still different, right? And I definitely like that aspect of it. But no, I don't think it's fair to say that Call of Duty is the same thing every year. Of course, it's going to feel like Call of Duty every single year. But if you want to talk about games that are actually the same every year, go look at the sports games, right? Look at like Madden, look at FIFA, look at even the WWE games, for crying out loud. Those are the same game every single year with a roster update, essentially, that they can sell you. Whereas Call of Duty fundamentally feels different while also still feeling like Call of Duty, if that makes any sense. The third question is coming in from Justin Prizzy, who writes, Dear Nero, why do Activision persist with not making remakes? Good question, Justin. Honestly, very good question, but I think I have the answer. Now, obviously, this answer is more my opinion than anything, but I think the reason why they're holding off on remakes is because they don't need to put them out right now. Right? For me, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys as well, Modern Warfare 2019 was not my cup of tea whatsoever. I did not enjoy the game, therefore I didn't play it. In fact, I stopped doing YouTube and went out and got an actual job for a while there, right? I'm back making content full time now, but that's how much I did not like Modern Warfare 2019. So for me personally, should they have remastered Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer and released it maybe 6 months into the Modern Warfare life cycle? I would have loved that, right? I needed that. That would have been so much fun. But for the rest of the world, it seems Modern Warfare and Warzone are like the greatest games ever. I mean, Modern Warfare 2019, according to Activision, is the best-selling Call of Duty game of all time, and it's also making more money than any Call of Duty game before it. So even though I'm in the minority, apparently, when it comes to not liking that game, a lot of people really do like that game. I feel like for them to remaster another game, they're going to have a situation where the vast majority of the community do not enjoy the current product. The only time we saw a proper remaster of multiplayer would, of course, be Modern Warfare Remastered. And when did they release that game? Well, it was with Infinite Warfare, the game that had no hype behind it. People were burnt out on advanced movement. Like, no one really seemed hyped for Infinite Warfare. And so to kind of hedge their bets and try to make as much money that year as they possibly could, they bundled Call of Duty 4 Remastered with Infinite Warfare. So that way, you have to buy both of them at a higher price than the standard $60 value. And then from there, they can make money from all the DLC and stuff like that in Modern Warfare Remastered, as well as Infinite Warfare. And hopefully, between those two games, make as much money as they would if they released a game that people are super stoked about, like Black Ops Cold War or Modern Warfare 2019. I think the next time we see a remaster is going to be Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered. They've already remastered the campaign. Leaks and rumors are saying that the multiplayer is already done, but the thing is, they're going to wait to release that at a time when they're not making as much money from the current game. And the thing about that is right now, Black Ops Cold War is looking pretty hyped, right? Modern Warfare 2019 apparently sold very well as well. So if this keeps up, we're going to be waiting a long time for a remaster. But who knows? Maybe Black Ops Cold War is going to flop, and then partway through that game's life cycle, suddenly Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered gets dropped. We really have no idea if that's going to happen, but it definitely could happen. And I don't know about you guys, I am really stoked for the idea of Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered, or even Black Ops 1 multiplayer remastered. That would actually be insane. The next question is going to be coming in from Wavy Shifts, who writes, Dear Nero, what type of content will you be making for Cold War? Will it be the same usual or different this time? Either way, I'm hyped for Cold War and moving forward into the future. So the idea, Wavy, is to basically do what I've always done here on YouTube, which is cover news, obviously news, updates, leaks, rumors, but on top of that, create class guides and different stuff like that. Like throughout the years, I've tried to expand out into different forms of content. I really like making legacy content, talking about things that happened in the past and how they can correlate with what's happening now. I like that kind of stuff, but when it comes to Cold War, definitely there's going to be a lot of reviews. There will be create class guides and things like that early on, but maybe some tips and tricks kind of stuff if I can figure some of that stuff out, Easter eggs, which would definitely be pretty cool. But yeah, if you look back at Black Ops 4, which was the last year where I was super active here on YouTube, look at the kind of content I made for that game and probably expect the same thing to happen for Black Ops Cold War. The next question is going to be coming in from Tropics, who writes, Dear Nero, what do you think separates the golden age of Call of Duty, like Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 2, from the newer gen Call of Duty games? Why do you think that the older Call of Duty games are considered better than modern games? And do you think that newer Call of Duty games will ever be able to deliver a classic COD feel? So what separates the golden age of COD from the current age of COD? I would say the golden age of COD died when Call of Duty Ghosts came out. Call of Duty Ghosts was a game where Infinity Ward, for the first time, right after they revamped their entire studio, after everybody left during Modern Warfare 2, and they basically had to scrap together Modern Warfare 3, it was the first time that this new studio was actually like on its own 2 feet, and they wanted to branch out from the Modern Warfare franchise, and as a result, they didn't want to make the game feel like Modern Warfare 4. They wanted to make it feel entirely new, and as a result, in the Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer, they tried a lot of things. They were basically just throwing things at the wall to see what would stick, and unfortunately, barely any of it did. In fact, Call of Duty Ghosts was the game where they decided to stop showing player count, and it's because people like me and news sites and stuff like that were making videos and news articles saying that's really interesting that this new Call of Duty game, Ghosts, which has only been out for a month, has less active players on all platforms combined than people playing Black Ops 2. It's because when Ghosts came out, people were like, yeah, this isn't really it. And then they went back to Black Ops 2. Kind of the same way, as much as I hate to say it, but kind of the same way that when World of War came out back in the day, people didn't really like it, and they went back to Call of Duty 4. Same thing happened with Ghost. And after Call of Duty Ghosts, obviously, we ended up getting a bunch of advanced movement games, and after that, we had World War 2, which I thought was good, and then we had Black Ops 4, which I thought was good, then Modern Warfare 2019, which is kind of right? You look at the golden age of COD, you have like Call of Duty 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 2. These were all fantastic games that really rewarded the player for actually being good. There were pretty deep progression systems back in the day, and most importantly, the games released in a complete state. Now, while there may have been bugs and glitches and stuff like that, if you go back and look at the map counts for the older Call of Duty games, we're talking like 16 maps at launch, right? We're talking like, in Black Ops 1 especially, there were so many guns in Black Ops 1 that I didn't even use half of them, right? Like, can you name every submachine gun in Black Ops 1? Because there were a lot of them. Let's see, there was like MP5K, AK-74U, the Caparis, the Spectre, the MAC-10. I'm missing. Did I say MPL already? I'm missing. There's more. There's definitely a lot more. Same with the rifles. Same with light machine guns and snipers. Like there was like so much content when it came to the older Call of Duty games. And in recent years, of course, we've had supply drops, which they basically take most of the core content from the game and lock it away within supply drops. And now supply drops aren't a thing. They're basically cutting a lot of content from the base game to release as seasonal map updates or even release new weapons as part of new battle passes. Like Call of Duty back in the day, the thing that you got in the box, right? The content that you got was actually fantastic. Not to mention, it was all about old school map design. It was about the older games were simple. Whereas nowadays, it seems like they're trying to make the game not even feel as much like COD. I mean, you look at Modern Warfare 2019, they literally designed, this is in a developer interview, they designed the maps to have safe spaces in them so that newer players can potentially get a kill, right? They made the time to kill very fast so that newer players would benefit. They made it so dead silence was not a perk so that people would be punished for rushing and be rewarded for camping. Like, it was not a good situation whatsoever. And then you look at Black Ops Cold War, it seems like, I don't know, during quarantine, they all decided, like, hey, let's go play Battlefield for a bit. And then now every single developer over at Treyarch is like, let's make Call of Duty feel more like Battlefield. You look at the map design, while the maps themselves look good and they fit the theme of Cold War, these maps are giant. Like, they're really big, and it's not the same fast-paced COD that we used to have. Then, of course, skill-based matchmaking is really ramped up in Modern Warfare 2019, as was in Black Ops Cold War, whereas back in the day, even though skill-based matchmaking apparently existed, it wasn't really noticeable. Like, Call of Duty used to be relaxing and fun and simple, and nowadays, they seem to try and reinvent the wheel every single year, when in reality, all fans want is the classic Call of Duty experience that they fell in love with in the first place. And I truly hope that at some point in the future we can go back to that. I would say that Call of Duty World War II is probably the last Call of Duty game that actually felt like an old school Call of Duty game. I'm not even just talking about the theme of the game itself, I'm talking about the core gameplay. And because of that, I would really like to see Sledgehammer Games take another crack at making their own Call of Duty title. But yeah, I'm worried about the future of COD because it seems like every single year, going back to that question about the games being the same thing every single year, it seems like every time they release a new game, they try to reinvent the wheel for really no reason, right? I mean, Infinity Ward tried to reinvent Prestige Mode. Why? Why? I mean, Treyarch is trying to reinvent score streaks. It's like, why? These things work. These are just core staples in the Call of Duty franchise. There's no reason why you should try to reinvent these things. Like, they're already good. But for some reason, they feel like they know better. And I don't know if it's because of the people that say COD is the same game every year, and as a result, the developers feel this extra pressure to fix what isn't broken. I don't know. But I'm really worried about the future of the Call of Duty franchise, and even the immediate future of the Call of Duty franchise. We still don't know what this new progression system is going to be like in Black Ops Cold War that's going to be connecting multiplayer, Warzone, and zombies. So I guess we'll wait and see how it plays out, man. But yeah, I do miss the golden age of Call of Duty, and hopefully at some point in the future, we can go back to that, or at the very least, they can start remastering those old games that had that classic Call of Duty feel. The next question is going to be coming in from Chumadi, who writes, Dear Nero, do you think skill-based matchmaking was the main reason Modern Warfare was so successful in sales, or do you think it was actually the gameplay and free content that was more attractive? Personally, I don't like the game, and I can't understand the success of it. I'm right there with you, man. I don't know why Modern Warfare 2019 is so successful. I think one thing that Activision is not being 100% transparent about is Warzone. When they say that Modern Warfare is the best-selling Call of Duty game of all time, and it's making more money than any Call of Duty game before it, I think they're throwing in all of Warzone into that as well. I mean, I don't really know anyone who genuinely loves the Modern Warfare multiplayer and plays it on a daily basis. Even if you go to Twitch, like, if you go to the Modern Warfare section, which is always packed with people, it's one of the top categories on Twitch, you have to scroll down to like 50, 60, 70 streams in before you finally find people that are playing multiplayer. Everybody else is playing Warzone. And I think Warzone is actually the reason why Modern Warfare is so successful in terms of sales. I mean, I'm sure people genuinely do love the multiplayer, but for me personally, like you, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm not here to say either, like, oh, all those people are wrong and I'm right. Like, people like what they like. It's just that Modern Warfare is not the game for me. And the fact that the game is so successful kind of has me worried, because if Modern Warfare is like the best-selling COD of all time, and if it's actually due to the multiplayer, then maybe all future Call of Duty games are going to have multiplayers like Modern Warfare. And should that be the case, then maybe I have to put Call of Duty behind me, because the game is no longer being made for players like me anymore, and instead it's being made for this new target audience. That could very well be the case, and as always, we're going to have to wait and see how things play out. But yeah, Modern Warfare, most successful Call of Duty game of all time. Definitely pretty interesting. The next question is coming in from Stephen McCoyle, what a name, who writes, Dear Nero, short and sweet here, what do you look like? Well, Stephen, this is what I look like. Next question is coming in from Gamerboy618, who writes, Dear Nero, if YouTube shuts down, what would be your dream job? I would say Gamerboy, Twitch, just to be a Twitch streamer. Like, if YouTube were to shut down and somehow, like, no competing service would pop up where I could make video content in the way that I like to, then I would just stream on Twitch like I already do. I pretty much stream every single night. I took a little bit of a break now between weekend 1 of the beta and weekend 2 of the beta, because over the course of like 4 days, I streamed like 35 hours of Black Ops Cold War. So I was a bit burnt out. I wanted to recoup a little bit, not get too burnt out going into weekend 2. But I do stream pretty much every single night. I love the community that we have over there. It's been a lot of fun. And so if YouTube were to shut down, I would probably just go Twitch full time. The next question is going to be coming in from Two Apples, who writes, Dear Nero, do you consider moving over to PC? I think you mentioned something like this in a past video. So, Mr. Two Apples, who actually I've answered 2 questions from you here today, that is the plan going into Black Ops Cold War. I do plan to go to PC full-time, but it's kind of contingent on how the PC beta goes. If my system can actually play, record, and stream at the exact same time, that's the big question right now. I've tested out a bunch on Modern Warfare 2019, but at the same time, that's not the exact same game. So we're going to see how it runs with Black Ops Cold War. Can I play the game in the settings that I want while also streaming and recording? And if so, then yes, I will be moving over to PC full-time for Black Ops Cold War. The next question is going to be coming in from Mike, who writes, Dear Nero, how about them Browns? So for those who don't know, I am a Cleveland Browns fan. It has been a sad existence, basically my entire life being a Browns fan. And now finally we have the first 4-1 start. Well, actually, it's the second 4-1 start in my entire lifetime. I'm about to be 29 years old. That's how bad the Browns have been. That's how consistently bad the Browns have been. But man, it has been a lot of fun watching them this year, and I truly hope, my biggest concern right now is that the NFL season actually continues. I mean, how would you feel as a Browns fan if your team, for the first time in ages, is doing really well? Like, they're 4-1, they're beating some really good teams, and then suddenly they stop the NFL season due to COVID. That would be so bad, dude. And every single week, they're actually like delaying games and rescheduling things because more and more people are testing positive. So we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. But I really hope the season continues because, again, this is the best year that the Browns have had since 2007. 2007 was the last time it was fun to be a Browns fan. And keep in mind, if we're going off Call of Duty years, that was the year that COD 4 came out. That was the last time it was fun to be a Browns fan. That's back when they had Jamal Lewis and Derek Anderson and Braylon Edwards and Kellen Winslow Jr. and almost made it to the playoffs. It was a fun year, and this is just as fun as that, so I'm definitely having fun watching football this year. The next question is coming in from Rugged, who writes, Dear Nero, do you ever think that you'll be done with Call of Duty with Activision basically knowingly ruining this beloved franchise? Oh, for sure, Rugged. Like, 100%. Like, as much as I love Call of Duty, if they go, like I said earlier, to a new target audience, they stop making games for the old school hardcore player base, then eventually I'll just have to move on. I mean, I can fight tooth and nail against it, but at the same time, like, if they're going to make so much money by making safe space maps and microtransactions and microtransaction-based matchmaking, which we talked about in my previous video, then at some point, something's got to give. And obviously, you guys know, if I don't like a Call of Duty game, I'm not going to be one of those YouTubers who, like, puts on a persona, like, oh boy, this is the best game ever just because I can make money. I mean, look at Modern Warfare 2019. I straight up quit, didn't upload to my channel for like 8 months, and got a different job. Like, that's what I did. And if the same thing happens to Cold War, then the same thing's going to happen to Cold War. I'll stop doing YouTube videos, maybe stream on Twitch when I have the time, and then, you know, get a job doing something else. And I don't want that to be the case. I love making YouTube videos, but if Call of Duty is going to continue down that road, then I could definitely see myself being done with it in the future. The next question is coming in from JBS Fish, who writes, Dear Nero, besides Cold War, what other games are you looking forward to at the end of the year and why? So, honestly, the only game I'm really looking forward to right now would be the Shadowlands expansion for World of Warcraft. If you guys don't know, huge WoW nerd. I love that game. I actually started playing the game in 2014, back when, wait, was it 2014 or 2013? Which year did Ghosts come out? Well, I actually may have been during 2014 after Ghosted came out, and then the new year happened. But either way, I didn't really like Call of Duty Ghosts all that much, and so I was like trying out different games. And I got into World of Warcraft, and I've been playing it ever since. Shadowlands looks really fun. They delayed it, which is something that you never thought they would actually do. I mean, Activision should take a note from that. Like, they said the game's not ready, we're going to delay it until it is. I wish Call of Duty would do that, but I can't wait for Shadowlands. The pre-patch actually went out yesterday, and I'm enjoying that so far, and so yeah, Shadowlands, that's going to be the game I'm looking forward to most outside of Black Ops Cold War. The next question is going to be coming in from Wave Hunter, who writes, Dear Nero, what are your favorite forgotten game modes? So that's a really good one. There have been so many one-off game modes in the Call of Duty franchise, or even game modes that only appeared for a game or two and then seemingly disappeared. Remember Fracture back in Black Ops 3? They brought that back to a number of games so far, but I think Fracture as a whole is a game mode that should just be in every Call of Duty game. I love it. And my other forgotten game mode, and the reason why it's gone is because it's really hard to balance, apparently. They do typically bring it back, but it's not a staple core game mode. would be Demolition. I love Demolition, and if they had that in Black Ops Cold War, I would see myself playing Search and Destroy number 1, and then Control number 2, and then Demolition number 3. That would be so fun. I would have my 3 favorite game modes right there, all in the same game, and we know Control's going to be there. We know S&D's going to be there, but what about Demolition? They should definitely bring back Demo for Black Ops Cold War. The next question is coming in from Palk Dragon, who writes, Dear Nero, throughout all your time playing the Call of Duty franchise, what is your absolute favorite weapon to use? Well, I would say it's the M16, actually, and I should do a video on this. I do want to do an updated top 10 guns in Call of Duty history video and just talk about my favorite weapons throughout the entire franchise, and the M16 is my favorite. It always has been. I mean, it was broken back in COD 4, but I loved it in Modern Warfare 2. I loved it in Black Ops 1. It was in Modern Warfare 3. It sucked in Modern Warfare 3, but I liked using it there. It's really, really bad in Black Ops 4, but I still try to use it, and in Black Ops Cold War, it's actually pretty good. Overall, the M16 is my favorite gun in COD history. The next question is going to be coming in from Sir Googer, who writes, Dear Nero, have you thought about branching out and making reviews/videos about other games that have no connection to Activision or their subsidiaries? So, Mr. Googer, I would point you towards my second channel. A lot of people don't know this, but I have a whole second channel. It's called NerosCinema 2, and there's like 1,600 videos over there, most of which are not Call of Duty. So, yeah, go ahead and check that out. Not super active over there right now because between my Twitch channel and my main channel here, I don't really have time for my second channel, but there's like 1,600 videos over there. So, if you're interested in other games, go ahead and give that a look. The next question is going to be coming in from Tasuki, who writes, Dear Nero, where do you see Call of Duty going in the future? Do you think they will cater to casual players more, or do you think they will cater to hardcore fans more? It comes down to how much money they can make, man. If they can make as much money as they are right now by catering to the casual player base, then that's what they're going to do. If that starts to dwindle off a bit, they may completely shift gears and try to make Call of Duty feel like it used to back in the day for us old school hardcore fans. And if they were to do that, maybe they would see an increase in sales. It's really hard to say. I mean, right now I would say that Black Ops Cold War is going to be more like Modern Warfare 2019 than it is like Black Ops 2. I mean, you look at the skill-based matchmaking, for crying out loud. You have to wonder what the progression system is going to be like. You have to wonder how everything in general is going to be playing out. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of Modern Warfare in this year's game than we see like Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 in terms of gameplay systems. Again, I'm super worried about that progression system. I'm hoping that's actually good. I'm hoping the prestiges are actually going to be a thing, but you never know, man. You never know. I mean, Modern Warfare did really well, and as a result, we may see a shift in the Call of Duty franchise where I would say Modern Warfare was the first time ever they really catered to an entirely new audience. And because that paid off, they may continue to do that. And the more they do that, the more they may alienate the old school Call of Duty player base. We'll have to wait and see. The next question is going to be coming in from Triaz, who writes, Dear Nero, where did you get the name NerosCinema from? Well, my name's Nero, and back in the day, back when I made my channel, a lot of people had cinema in their name. Most notably was Hazard Cinema. I mean, obviously Nero was taken. I needed it to be something involving Nero, and Nero Cinema just sounded cool after seeing Hazard Cinema, and it just kind of stuck. And seemingly, I'm the only person left that has cinema in their name. Whereas you guys probably remember, like back in like COD 4, World at War, and Modern Warfare 2, there were a lot of cinema channels, but all of them are pretty much gone at this point. So it feels good to kind of be the only one left. The next question is coming in from Kuza, who writes, Dear Nero, do you miss Jetpack Call of Duty games at all? No, not at all, man. Like, it was interesting for the 3 years that we had it, but no, I don't want to go back to that ever. I want to stay boots on the ground. I want Call of Duty to feel like it did back when. I want it to feel like Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, like those kind of games. I don't want jetpacks. I don't want robot dogs on Mars. I don't want any of that. I mean, Black Ops 3 was pretty fun, and to be fair, Advanced Warfare had some really fun weapons and kill streaks. And Infinite Warfare, for those that actually played it, said it was actually pretty good, but I'm just over that. I'm over the jetpack games. I do not want to see them return, though I have a feeling at some point they're going to. The next question is coming in from Robstar, who writes, Dear Nero, what's more important in your mind, being able to enjoy the game playing solo mostly, or having to mainly play with a squad to enjoy it? It's pretty easy answer there. If a game is enjoyable solo, it's also going to be enjoyable with friends. Literally anything can be fun with friends. Like when people say like, oh, that game's pretty good if you play it with friends, it's like, dude, like anything's fun with friends. Like pretty much any game, right? Even things outside of games. Like most things are just more fun if you're doing it with a group of people you already enjoy. So I don't think that's a good criticism of a game or a good check mark for a game. Like, oh yeah, it's good with friends. Like, dude, like everything's fun with friends. So if a game is fun solo, then that's the mark of an actual good game. And Black Ops Cold War, not very fun solo. Not very fun solo with skill-based matchmaking. I've said it time and time again, but when it comes to that game, like during the beta, weekend 2 here, or even when the full game comes out, you won't catch me dead playing without a full party, man, because it's just so damn sweaty. You might as well have a bunch of equally sweaty people on your team. And the final question here is going to be coming in from Chiefs, who writes, Dear Nero, which DLC map that hasn't been reimagined or remade would you like to see in Black Ops Cold War? I think it's crazy, man. I think it's absolutely crazy how every year they reimagine or remaster maps from previous Call of Duty games, yet at the same time, it's always the same maps that just get brought back over and over. Modern Warfare did bring back some maps that had never been remade before, like Hard Hat, I don't think was reimagined before. I don't think it was. They brought back Hard Hat, they brought back Backlot. I mean, I love Backlot from Call of Duty 4, but man, did they ruin it in Modern Warfare 2019. Absolutely disgraceful what they did to Backlot. But in general, they bring back the same maps over and over and over, and Treyarch is definitely guilty of that. And what's weird about this is there are so many great maps from World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2 that have never been reimagined. I mean, look at Castle from World at War. You have Macon from World at War, or CeeLo as well. Like, those maps were all in World at War, and I loved all of them, yet they have never been reimagined. If you look at games like Black Ops 1, you have Hanoi, and you have Grid, and Black Ops 2, you have maps like Meltdown and Plaza. It's like, these are all really good maps, but they were kind of outshined by the super popular maps. Like, I can see why they choose to bring back maps like Raid over a map like Plaza, for example, right? I can see why they do that, or why they would maybe bring back Hijacked over Meltdown. I get that, right? But we've seen Hijacked a number of times. We've seen Raid a number of times. We've seen Nuketown every single year. We've seen Firing Range a number of times as well. While these are all great maps, let's think outside the box here. Again, Castle, Hanoi, Macon, Meltdown, Plaza, CeeLo, Grid, Outskirts. Like, there are so many awesome maps that would really fit the theme of Black Ops Cold War if they were redesigned a little bit in terms of aesthetic, not layout. Do not touch the layout, Treyarch. I hate when you guys do that. But yeah, there's so many old school maps from back in the day that were really good, but for some reason, they've never been brought back, which is really odd. I should probably do a video on that, actually. That'd be a fun video to do going into the launch of Black Ops Cold War. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this video. I apologize. I have a head cold. It's definitely going to be evident in the video. I have a pretty nose and stuffy. I have a head cold going on right now. But hopefully I can kick this before the beta starts, because chances are I'm going to be streaming another 30 hours of it this weekend. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of Dear Nero, just answering questions sent in by you guys. Some of them Call of Duty related, other ones not being Call of Duty related. And if nothing else, hopefully this video was just an entertaining thing to listen to while you were driving to work, or doing your homework, or playing video games, or what have you. That was basically the focus of Dear Nero back in the day, and it's fun to do a new episode every now and then. But I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider leaving the video a like. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.